Now, immediately here in the opening, you notice that Rare has turned its insignia into toilet paper. Not very flattering when you realize that all the games pretty much after this have sucked. Big time. And you can also see this game looks very, very good. A lot of work has been done for these graphics, and my god, they're so gorgeous. Definitely plenty of changes. For one, Xbox Live is now have been inserted into this. You can see a better image of Banjo up there. Again, this is for nuts and bolts. And they took out the cheats feature! That was one of the best parts of the original game. And they took out the cheats. Bastards! If you actually look on the walls, you can see some pictures in the background. Over there on the far right, we have Sombrero Conker. And this next one has an Uncle Sam squirrel that says, "We want you for the war." And back there, we have a Space Conker. And right back there, it's really hard to see, but we actually have Saberwolf Conker. Saberwolf being a classic Rare game. In here, there's a special little Easter egg from the 2003 Xbox game that Rare did, Grabbed by the Ghoulies. That's Cooper, the main character, dealing with a hangover like Conker did. Oh yeah, and get used to these if you're playing Live and Reloaded. There are so many loading screens, but luckily I'm going to cut all of mine out. Again, looks very good. Something they added, obviously, the crown looks a lot more regal, has a $sign above it, and the chalice, originally just a glass of milk, is, well, now a chalice. And another addition you may have noticed, looking in the nether regions, they gave Conker pants. Really? Look, I know you're updating the graphics, but you didn't have to update his junk. I mean, just leave that part alone. Don't we already have furries for that? No offense to all the furries out there.
Well, there I am.
Definitely an upgrade. I love the way this looks.
King of all the land.
Now, a couple small Easter eggs you can find when going to Barry's room. For one, her proportions have changed. She also is number 69 on her football team. And just in case Conker's not around, she has a little toy there on her dresser. Another addition they made a lot nicer in this is the text. Instead of separate voice bubbles, they put it all in one and just have scrolling text. This is a lot better because in some of the dialogue scenes in Bad Fur Day, you have to press A to move on to the next one. Now, a little complaint I have about this is Conker's supposed to be drunk, okay? In this scene, he just looks really sad, and he's not stumbling away. That just takes away from the whole drunk part. Alright, now look over there to the right of the Panther King. Do you see a table? Because I don't. Oh, there it is. Oh, good. I'm glad it reappeared in the next shot.
More milk, sire.
Another cool thing is on every milk carton there will always be someone missing. Now here we get to the opening. You just get out of your hangover and, again, looks so much better. This game actually won awards for how good it looked. Now, if you notice, Conker's eyes are not bloodshot. Another complaint I have because he's supposed to have a hangover. Without the bloodshot eyes and the different facial expressions, he just doesn't look hungover. Plenty of Easter egg stuff here. This helmet, we'll be getting into what this is later. It actually shows up in a later chapter in Bad Fur Day. Now, I think this was from the earlier scene, like as soon as you open the game where Conker's reaching for toilet paper, but I don't think it is. Maybe they just put it in there for fun. Here we have berry juice wine for all those fruity people out there. And like I said, the milk cartons, ingredients, just milk, fool, and it may contain nuts. On the back here, you can see Mavis. We will be meeting her later, definitely. And, uh-oh. We're missing, too. Huh. Well, I hope they find us. Also, that milk carton, it said that the cow was semi-skimmed. Now, another thing they changed is you no longer have to go all the way around to talk to Birdie. They make it... This game is a lot easier than Bad Fur Day for a bunch of different reasons. Nice addition to Birdie. Not only did they make him look better, but they also gave him a hat, which makes him look like an actual scarecrow.
Go to bed because I don't feel very well at all.
Also, the voices are pretty good. Well, same voices from the old game, just a couple additions added here and there. It actually syncs up pretty well, except for a couple spots I found that don't match at all. Again, Conker just looks really tired. He doesn't have any of the old facial expressions that he did in Bad Fur Day, which makes him seem just really tired and not hungover.
Help me.
Let's step over here.
Which way did he go, George? That way. Now, check this out. I think the only reason they gave him that hat is so they didn't have to animate his face moving for those last few lines. And because this is a more adult version of Bad Fur Day, you know, looks better, it's in the next generation, Grand Theft Auto was out by this point, so, you know, maybe they could have it more adult.
In fact,
Wrong.
it seemed to me that these gives me
This
just
version
what
got
I need
neutered
at that
to
moment
shit.
in time.
And I'll be going over those as we
I
move
see what he
along.
means.
So instead of fuck
Context-sensitive.
off crows, it's still
Clever.
feck off.
And I feel loads
Also,
better.
I want you to see if you can figure out the difference in these voices.
And by the way, if for whatever reason you want to skip all these wonderful cutscenes, just pull the left trigger. But you will have to have watched them at least once.
Okay, this is the original actor back from Bad Fur Day, and he does pretty well. He's just not in his zone. Here we have Le Pisse, Poor Squirrels. Excellent. And, oh, this seems to be a really naughty magazine for Rodent Weekly. Huh. Let's see what kind of hot, sexy, furry action we can see in here. Oh. We're already getting some of that. Awesome.
Oh, I can't seem to get any further. I'm sure there was something. Yeah.
I just
Now I remember.
just don't like how they had to
Pull the right
redub
trigger
in
down,
some of the
and I
voices.
hit
I
fire.
know with different versions you have different control schemes,
yeah.
but it just
Press
doesn't
A
sound
to
right.
jump extra high.
Even
Then
though it's the
press
same
A
guy.
again to do that funny helicopter tail thing. And that makes
I
me
don't know what
hobble.
he was thinking, but it doesn't sound like him.
I should easily get across that gap now. Are you sure you got that?
Now, let's just say, nuts to the world, screw everything! There's the biggest change. They have taken out the entire bottom, and if you jump down, you just move up a couple spaces. So, for speedrunners, there you go. You lost a couple seconds. Now, going back into here, by the way, loading screen, this is probably where the biggest change comes in as far as the whole motif of Conker, is the weapons. Again, you have the sissy slap of nothing
Hang on a sec.
until...
This is really no good at all. I need a weapon.
Hmm...
Do it. Eeny, meeny, miny. Mo. A frying pan.
Now, a bunch of purists of Bad Fur Day would think, oh, okay, they're going for the old-fashioned frying pan. Cool. They're not changing much. They're adding a little bit, changing the voices a bit. All right, this is the Conker I knew and love, and they added a few things. Awesome. This is just what we wanted in a remake.
Are you sure you got that?
If only it were so. As soon as you take out the frying pan, these guys.
Oh, yes.
In order to try to balance out the difficulty in this game,
What a hack.
basically they made everything easier, but added more of these enemies. Now, the combat is a lot different, because if you take out your frying pan, you see you go to a third person over the shoulder view. The only way to kill these enemies is to hit them with the third strike. Pressing the right trigger 3 times, you'll swing, swing, and then that final swing will kill those enemies, no matter what. Even if you don't get all 3 swings, that third swing is all that counts. So yeah, they try to balance out the difficulty, but it just makes it easier. Now up here in the boss,
Frying pan. You stupid little.
they censored twat.
Wasn't he meant to fall off here?
One of the stupidest censorships I think I've ever
Wasn't he meant
seen.
to fall off here?
Yes. But the designer thought it wise
I also need to note that this
change
gargoyle
the
sounds
bit
nothing like the
to
original
fool the
gargoyle.
audience into thinking that the rest of the game would also be different. I'm afraid you'll have to try something else.
This is another thing I don't like about Live and Reloaded. Yes, they did trick you into thinking the game was changed, and the only thing they changed was Conker's look and the fact that he has a baseball bat. And just this opening tutorial.
He missed the designer. No more surprises, please.
Oh, don't worry, there aren't any more. Now, another thing about the censorship, I really hate it. Listen to how silly this sounds.
I'll come down here, I'll show him what the duct tape is, I'll show him where to stuff it. Stupid All I do all day is try to sort his stupid problems out of them. Anyway.
Sounds like a Jerry Springer episode. This is so stupid. Look, you already made a really raunchy game, and in, like, years after Grand Theft Auto, one of the raunchiest games ever made, you're gonna censor yourself? Come on, throw us a freaking bone here. You censored it in the early days. You could have uncensored it here. Well, anyway. Next time on Conker's Bad Fur Day, we're going to move in to the first official chapter and go help out some people. See you guys next time.